Well, hey friends, and welcome back. Today, I want to share with you how to create a perfect evening routine. I feel like morning routines often get all the attention. Don't get me wrong, yes, they can be a great way to set the tone for your day. But I truly believe that our evenings are every bit as important. They're a vital time for us to wind down, to reflect, and to prepare for the following day. If we treat them as a chance to care for ourselves mentally, emotionally, and physically, rather than wasting hours watching TV or scrolling social media, we really can reclaim our evenings and infuse them with so much more intentionality, fulfillment, and purpose. So today I want to look at 20 habits or routine building blocks that you can use to develop and craft a customized evening routine that will transform your nights. We have a lot to cover, so if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button below. Let's get right into this. So first things first, before we even get into the habits, I think it's really important that we begin by just talking about how to use these habits strategically to build out your routine. We've got 20 very powerful habits that we're going to cover. I think that it's really easy with things like this just to get excited and to want to do them all. But honestly, if we try to do that, we really just set ourselves up for failure. So instead of trying to add every single item on the list to your routine, my encouragement would be to instead try to pick 4 to 6 of these habits and begin to incorporate them into your daily schedule. Begin with practicing those consistently, and then as time goes on and those become ingrained habits in your daily routine, you can either add more or switch some out depending on your needs in that season. That's really going to set you up for success in your routine and lead to better long-term results. Okay, but with that out of the way, let's now dive into our 20 habits and begin with our first one, which is to reflect and plan for the next day. Our evenings really are such a great time to look back and to look forward. This is something that I really like to do right as soon as I finish my work day. I'll sit there and ask myself what worked, what didn't work, and is there anything that I want to change for tomorrow? They're simple questions, but they really force you to reflect on your day to see how it went and how you might be able to improve going forward. So I often like to begin with that, but then I find it so important to also plan the next day too. I'll write down any tasks or to-dos and just try to get a general feel for what the next day will look like. This really is a great way to kind of bookend your work day and to make it so that as you wrap up work for the day, you can leave it behind and really get into the rest of your evening. Because there really is nothing more draining than taking the thoughts and burdens of work home with you. But then another great, very easy habit is just to lower the temperature of your home a few hours before bed. This is a very simple act. It takes just seconds, but it can help you to get a better night's sleep. According to Dr. Rebecca S. Robbins, a sleep researcher at the NYU School of Medicine, the best temperature for sleep is about 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Which, to be honest, sounded quite cold to me at first, but after struggling with sleep for quite some time, finally decided to give it a try. I found that it makes a huge difference. I found that I was better able to get to and to stay asleep throughout the night, which for me was a huge win. So if you always tend to sleep in a warmer environment, why not give this one a try and lower the temperature a bit? Alright, but then 3 is one of my favorites, and that's to make a nourishing meal. Cooking really is such a mindful activity as you make a meal from scratch. But then also talking over and enjoying a meal with family and loved ones really does have such a unifying effect. It brings people together, and I can honestly say that some of the best conversations I've ever had have been over a shared meal. So whenever possible, I love taking the time to make a homemade meal to enjoy either by yourself or with others. Of course, at the same time, I get that life is busy. And honestly, I don't always feel like I have the time to go searching for delicious recipes or to go grocery shopping for all of the different ingredients that I need. Which is why I love options like HelloFresh, who I'm so excited to be partnering with for today's video. HelloFresh is an easy way to make eating well stress-free and delicious. With over 35 weekly recipes, they have the options you need to help you achieve your goals. You can choose calorie smart or carb smart recipes, or even customize select meals by swapping proteins or sides, upgrading your proteins, or adding a protein to a veggie dish. Plus, HelloFresh can help you to save money by cutting back on expensive delivery or takeout. And you'll love how fast, easy, and affordable it is to whip up restaurant quality meals in your own kitchen. I'm definitely the chef in our family, and I love that HelloFresh lets me do all of the fun parts of making a meal, actually putting together the recipes without all of the time-consuming and stressful bits, like grocery shopping for all the ingredients or sifting through endless recipes that I don't even know if are any good. With HelloFresh, you can skip the grocery store and take control of your time and budget with delicious recipes delivered right to your door. So to try out HelloFresh for yourself, go to HelloFresh.com and use my code Ashlynne65 for 65% off plus free shipping. That's HelloFresh.com, use my code Ashlynne65 for 65% off plus free shipping. So be sure to check them out, but now let's continue on with our list. Talk about number 4, which is to read a book. Reading really is a great de-stressor that can help us to cut out distractions, to unwind and relax. It's a chance for us to take a break from screens and to enter into new worlds and stories, or to expand our minds and introduce us to new ideas and concepts. So it should come as no wonder that it's widely considered to be an integral habit of some of the world's most successful people. In the past, this is a habit that I've mostly practiced in the morning before beginning my day, but something that I've really been getting a lot out of recently is about an hour before bed, rather than watching TV, just instead spending that time reading a good novel. I find it so soothing. It's a great way just to let my body slowly unwind and relax a bit before going to sleep. I always find that it's so much more fulfilling to me too than just watching TV before bed. So reading can be an amazing habit to incorporate into your evenings, but then another great one that I find so beneficial is to tidy your home. Tidying your home in the evening is such a great habit to get into because it helps you just to create a natural reset in your home, and it really helps to maintain an orderly space. The real impact of that is it makes your home more relaxing to be and to live in. So I've talked in the past about the 10-7 rule, where 7 days a week you want to spend 10 minutes tidying up right before bed. I'm a huge believer in that. But also too, something that I like to do is if I get home from work or from being out for the day, and I come home to a home that is quite messy, something that I like to do before relaxing, before doing anything for the evening, is just to spend a few minutes tidying it up so that as I'm spending time in my home throughout the night, I'm not in a disorganized space. That's something to me really hampers my ability to fully relax and to unwind. And so by spending those few minutes organizing and tidying my home ahead of time, it makes it so that I can better enjoy my evenings. So right after you get home, right before bed, or just if at some other point in the evening you notice messes just kind of creeping in, take those few minutes to tidy up. It's worth it. All right, well, then number 6 is to lay out your clothes for the next day. This one is great, especially if you work in an office and are often a little bit rushed getting out the door. It can make it so that you have one less decision when you're still pretty sleepy, just waking up in the morning. But even working from home, I found it to be really helpful. Yes, and just generally getting ready for the day, but what I've started doing more recently that I found to be incredibly powerful is at night, before going to bed, I'll lay out my gym clothes so that when I wake up in the morning, I see those clothes and I'm reminded, hey, you need to prioritize exercise. Get out there, go to the gym, put on this outfit. There's kind of built-in accountability with that because in the morning I have to say no to putting on those clothes and working out. And so literally just since doing that, I found that I've become a lot more consistent about going to the gym than I had been. Okay, but then 7 is to go to bed earlier. And a lot of us will say things like we want to sleep more or we want to get up early at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. or whatever that may be. But in order to do any of that, we need to begin with going to sleep earlier. So try setting your bedtime earlier so you can get the sleep that you need. You'll find that this makes a huge difference in your overall energy and productivity levels. Of course, it can be difficult to dramatically change your bedtime overnight, so instead try making the change a bit more gradual. Every single night, try going to bed 15 to 30 minutes earlier, and in a matter of days, or maybe it's a week, your body will naturally adjust to the new routine. Okay, then 8 is a big one, and that's just to stop at 1. Now, hear me out with this one. Watching TV can be a fun way to relax, but all too often we'll start out only intending to watch one episode, but before we know it, we'll watch another and another and another. Before we know it, our entire evening will be gone. I'm not trying to say here that you need to give up watching your favorite shows completely, although if you do, more power to you. But personally, I find that especially if done with others, watching an episode of a show can be a great way to relax. The key here though is to stop at 1. Watching a show can be a great addition to an evening routine, but it shouldn't take up up the entire evening. So if you want to watch a show, great, but stop at 1 so that you can leave space and margin in your evenings for some of these other really healthy and enriching habits that we're talking about. The 9 is to take a hot shower or bath. This is one of those great things that you can do to relax and unwind. Plus it means it's one less thing that you have to do in the morning. On evenings where you might have a bit more time available to you, I'd really recommend trying to make this a bit more special. Maybe you want to add bath salts or scented candles, or something that I love to do because I'm definitely more of a hot showers type of person, is add eucalyptus right over your shower head so you get the amazing effects of aromatherapy as you bathe. And the 10 is a quick one, and that's just to brush your teeth. Honestly, I almost hesitated bringing this one up, but the more that I looked into it, the more that I realized that a lot of us don't actually brush our teeth twice a day. I was having a bit of a hard time finding an exact number, but in a lot of places I looked, anywhere from 25 to 50% of people only brush their teeth once a day. Of course, I feel like most of us know that we should be brushing our teeth a couple of times every 24 hours to prevent bacteria growth and plaque buildup. We just need to do it. So make it a priority, and don't forget to spend those extra 2 minutes brushing your teeth at night. Maybe even try setting an alarm or reminder on your phone if you often forget. And then another big one is to spend time with loved ones. Once the work of the day is over, I really find that one of the most meaningful things that we can do with our evenings is to really invest in relationships and spend time with the people we love. You can play games, you can talk about your day, you can read together, but I'd really encourage you just to spend intentional time investing in the people that you value most. Make memories together and enjoy this time to the fullest. I love the saying, work to live, don't live to work. This is really your opportunity to do just that. And another one of my favorites is to unwind with a caffeine-free tea. Drinking tea has a ton of amazing benefits. It's full of antioxidants, it's very soothing, relaxing. And depending on what type you decide to drink, it can help aid in things like sleep or digestion. If you're a bit newer to tea or just wanting to try some great caffeine-free options, a few that I'd recommend are peppermint for digestion, chamomile or sleepy time tea to help aid in sleep. Personally, chamomile isn't my favorite, but I do know a lot of people love it. And then probably my favorite type of naturally caffeine-free tea is a rooibos tea or a red tea. It often comes in flavors like vanilla, cinnamon, or one of my favorites is an alpine punch blend, which has beautiful notes of almond in it. But whatever route you decide to go, there really are some great caffeine-free tea options that can really be such a relaxing way to wind down in the evening. Okay, but then 13 is to practice a hobby. And often, after a long workday, our first instinct is just to veg out. But doing something that creatively engages our brains can actually be a far more effective de-stressor, on top of course, promoting creativity and mindfulness. So if your natural tendency is just to want to flake out on the couch at night, I really want to encourage you to try incorporating some intentionality into your evenings by practicing a hobby. Maybe you want to try putting together a jigsaw puzzle, take up knitting, or something that I've really been enjoying recently is just doing a paint by number. There really is something very therapeutic and relaxing about hobbies like this that really encourage us towards mindfulness. All right, but then 14 is just to take time for personal hygiene. And here's what I mean by this. It's not about if, but how. As you take care of your skin, maybe remove makeup or whatever your hygiene routine involves, don't try to do it in a rush, but instead take time to be present. Enjoy the process, and when you have the time available, try to add in a few extra steps, really just to nourish your body. Maybe you want to do a face mask or use a luxurious night cream, take an extra long shower, or even paint your nails. Just like making a homemade meal, these are things that we can do to nourish our bodies and to take care of them well. So don't just try to do the absolute minimum as quickly as possible before bed, but maybe add in that extra step or two that's really going to take your skincare, your hygiene routine to the next level. Make it so that you're really caring for yourself well. Then moving on, 15 is to get at least 7 hours of sleep. I get that some people have sleep disorders or work schedules that simply will not allow for getting 7 hours of sleep at night. However, in as much as you can, try to set up your routine, your schedules, so that you can get at least 7 hours of sleep at night. You'll find that you're happier, healthier, and more productive for it. We all need rest to be able to operate at our best, and so if you're not getting enough sleep right now, really encourage you to make this one a priority. And then 16 is just to write it down. So Do you ever find yourself getting ready to go to sleep and just immediately a bunch of things pop in your head that you need to do? When we have tasks that we feel like we need to do, it can be really difficult for us to focus on anything else, like sleeping. Fortunately, there's a super easy solution to this, and that is just to write it down. You don't need to act on those to-dos now, that can be for tomorrow. But by simply writing it down, we're able to signal to our brains, it's okay, we're on top of this, and we'll take care of it at an appropriate time. I love the quote, your brain is for having ideas, not for holding ideas. This is an easy way to help. We're getting to the end of the list here. 17 is to cut off caffeine early. Having caffeine even 6 hours before your bedtime can really impact your ability to fall asleep. So if you often have trouble falling asleep or staying asleep, I'd really encourage you to try cutting out caffeine from your diet at least 6 hours, if not 8 or 10 before going to sleep. Personally, I find that 7 hours is kind of a sweet spot for me, so I try not to have caffeine after 3 p.m. But everyone's body is different, so play with this one, see what works for you. Cutting out caffeine, especially in the evening, can make a big difference. Then 18 is to unplug electronics. This is a big one that I'm trying to work on, but try spending time off screens right before bed. The blue light from our phones and other electronics, just like the sun, has the effect of suppressing melatonin in our bodies, which is an essential hormone to sleep. So an hour or two before bed, begin powering off your devices so you'll be able to fall asleep more easily. All right, the 19 is to stretch it out. And stretching can be a great way to loosen up any stiffness or tension from the day, as well as calm your body and prepare for a restful night. A couple of areas that it can be especially helpful to focus on are your neck, shoulders, and back, especially if you have a job where you're often sitting at a desk. Just doing that for 10 to 15 minutes before bed can really help to soothe aching muscles. Finally, let's wrap this up with the 20th habit that you can incorporate into your evening routine. That's to listen to music. Listening to something calming as you're getting ready for and going to bed can help you to more easily drift off to sleep. Of course, you want to make sure to pick something relaxing, but having something on in the background can be a great sleep aid. Of course, if you tend to find music too engaging, a great alternative to this can be some kind of nature sound or white noise. So personally, depending on what I'm feeling in a given night, I'll often drift off to sleep either listening to calming rain noises or some chill indie acoustic music. Of course, that's just what works for me, but feel free to experiment with this and find something that works for you. All right, but those are the habits, and like we were talking about before, these really are just building blocks that you can use to create and customize a routine that's going to be built around your interests, your life, your lifestyle, and needs. So pick a few of these that resonate with you, write out what you want your routine to look like, and then just begin practicing those habits daily. Before you know it, you're going to have an incredible evening routine, one that's filled with intentionality and purpose that helps you to wind down and to prepare for the next day. Now, I would love to know, what does your current evening routine look like, or what are some habits that you're wanting to begin incorporating into your nights? I would love to hear about them, so be sure to let me know in the comments below. Before I go, don't forget to check out HelloFresh if you haven't already, and use my code Ashlynne65 for 65% off plus free shipping. And again, that is linked up for you in the description box below. And as always, don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you haven't already for more simple and intentional living videos coming at you every week. Until next time, friends, I am wishing you all an incredible day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.